Abasad, Director of Education at T3 Live. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're enjoying the long weekend. We're going to talk about the market, and we'll go over some amazing swing ideas for this week. Before we go over those ideas, we're going to go over the market. If you find benefit in today's video, please be sure to hit the like button. And if you have any questions, email us, info@t3live.com. Also, if you'd like to check out what I do, links in the description. But here we go. This is the daily chart of the QQQ, which is the tracking ETF for the NASDAQ 100. So those are the top 100 stocks in the NASDAQ or on the NASDAQ. And they make up about like 97% of the entire market capitalization of the NASDAQ index. So that's why we use the Qs. And as you can see, the Qs is turning a little bit bearish. We have a declining 20 now. This is the daily chart. So declining 20, we have a lower high, lower than the prior high, right? You could say that was a lower high already. And we have a lower low. This is a lower low than the prior low. So what remains to be seen is a clean break of this support area here. So we really need to see a break and a close below. I can't draw a straight line, but below this bar's low. That's 594.75. We need to see a close below that bar for me to turn all out bearish on the market, or at least the NASDAQ. The SPY is neutral to slightly bearish, I would say, for the same reasons. We have equal highs, right? It's not a lower high, but it is an equal high. And we do have, you could say, a lower low or equal low. So the same thing, just not as bearish, needs to break at least under those lows here. Okay? The IWM is, I would say, neutral still, but the 20 MA is starting to flatten out and point down. But for now, neutral. Now, what if tomorrow, instead of dropping, we go boom? Then, then delete everything I said. Cancel it. I take everything back. But we'll have to wait and see. What if we actually break above that pivot, this pivot? Then we're back to, at the very least, neutral, at the very least, but it would be bullish. But more likely, I think, is for a break of the prior lows, because the writing is on the wall, right? The writing is on the wall. We're looking lower. We're looking lower. We tried to take out the prior high only to double top, and now we have lower highs, lower lows. At least one lower high, one lower low. On the Qs is the weakest by far, and I would say the IWM is the strongest. So it's kind of gonna be a very, very important week, I think, this week. It's a really critical week for the market. All right, on to those swing ideas that I told you about. Here's what I like. I have a longer list in the description, but these are the ones that I like for tomorrow. The CGNX, I like it for a breakout over the base, stop under the bottoming tail. So it's a big stop, but that's okay, because then you don't get shaken out as easily. Okay, you don't get shaken out as easily. We have the COHR, which is a pullback on the daily chart. So if it can just take this out, then it would trigger the buy setup on the daily chart. Okay, as a long. We have the DOX, which does not look good unless it fails on this breakdown or sell setup on the hourly chart. So if we pop, then it could be looked at as a double bottom, and I wouldn't play it over that bar's high. I would actually play it over maybe 26.15 with a stop under 23.60 on the DOX as a long. Now, why do I like it long? I was in it long and I trailed out when it broke down on this day. Why do I like it long? Because the stock is down a lot and then gaps down a huge amount. And it actually, if you look at the monthly chart, it's into all that support on the monthly. But I was expecting it to rally for a while. I put it in my IRA account and then it started to fail. And so I trailed out of it already on this day basically. So I don't think it's going to go back up, but just in case, because I like the bigger picture, then I think it's worth a watch. The KD looks much better long over those 3 bars, the highest of the 3. I don't know which one it is. So that's 1239, 1243, and 1227. So obviously over 1245 by 1099, and target maybe 18 on the KD. PLAB looks really good. I wouldn't say it looks amazing as a short-term play, but I like it as a longer-term play. So you see that rounded base, that's what I like. The problem is, where is the entry? Do we enter over here, or do we enter over the whole thing? I think we wait for it to clear the whole thing on the PLAB. So the PLAB might not be quite ready. VRSK is a little bit tricky because when I play long after the lows like this, I like to put my stop right here. And on the VRSK, I would have to put my stop right there because it would be too big of a stop. Why do I like it? For the same reasons that I like the docs, right? Down a lot and gaps down, that's novice. If you look at the weekly chart, that's a huge bottoming tail bar. We do need to clear the highs, the high of that bar, which means just that Friday's high, right? We just need to clear Friday's high. The problem is, again, using the low here, the last week's low, would be too big of a stop. Using this bar's low could lead to a quick shakeout. So I'm not in love with it. I think crypto is interesting. It's not very clear to me because we have, if you look at, I think I closed out of the crypto charts. I can open them up, obviously. But I think if you look at crypto, we had a nice climactic bottom. And what happened was, so we had that nice bounce. I'm just bringing up the crypto charts real quick. So we had a really nice bounce, and then things got pretty sloppy. This is the daily chart of Bitcoin. So this is the daily chart of Bitcoin. I'm just trying to line it up with the projected area on the screen. So we had a very nice bounce. I bought all I could in every account I could, and then I didn't trail right away. I trailed when like this whole thing broke down, and then it shot back up. But now the 20 is catching up and we have a sell setup. So I think crypto will take maybe a few days to resolve, but I don't know which way it's going to resolve. I think it will depend on what the US stock market does. If we go lower, then I think Bitcoin will actually start to come in. If the market goes higher, then maybe we base, and then Bitcoin goes back up, starts to go back up. So it's not an easy spot for Bitcoin at all, and Ethereum is weaker, so it doesn't look good. XRP, I'm still in XRP. I did take half. That's the strongest, but I mean bad spot. I mean very bad spot on the daily chart. Solana is also stronger than Bitcoin, stronger than Ethereum. So, but I would just focus on these three, Bitcoin, Solana, and XRP. But it's not like we have a pretty picture right now. We don't. We have a tough spot. On the actual ETF charts, so XRP, IBIT, IBIT, and BSOL, they look better because they have more room to move up. But they're going to follow the chart of the crypto charts, right? The crypto charts don't look as good. These look much better because there's plenty of room to move to the 20 MA, which is that resistance on the daily charts. So I like them, but again, crypto doesn't look incredible by itself. The Zoom video looks interesting higher, maybe over those bottoming tails. Stop under the pivot right here. And what I like about it is the monthly chart, but admittedly, it never seems to go. It never seems to want to go. So I don't know if it's ever going to really, really pop. So those are some of the bullish items. Here's some of the bearish items. We have a few nice ones. Like this is a nice one, the ASTS. Short, stop, target, maybe here. So it's got a lot of room. Maybe target 1 around 70 and target 2 around, looks like 63 or so, 61.50. So this is a 1, 2, 3. MBLY is a sell tab, looks really pretty, but I'm not sure about the reward to risk. I think we don't have that much room. The short, it looks very, very pretty. Target the prior low. Maybe it goes through it, especially if the market drops hard. PSKY is similar to the ASTS, is a 1, 2, 3. The short under 10.15, stop over 10.45. SanDisk. So SanDisk is a very nutty stock. That's a climactic sell setup. They don't recover from something like this usually, except it started to recover. So I had to get out of it. And now it may be double topping. Look at the weekly. That's parabolic. It's supposed to come back in. But it's not an easy stock to short for sure. But that's your stop. That's your entry if you're not in it already. And, you know, hope that it follows through if the market drops. The U is very bearish. It's an hourly base breakdown after professional gap down. So short, stop. Okay. That's the U. And then the VRRM is an hourly base breakdown. So short under the base, stop above it. VTRS is a climactic sell setup. It triggered already, but short right here, stop right there, target right there. Okay, so not a lot of room. And then the YMM is a 1, 2, 3 also. So it would be a short under Friday's low, stop above it, 939 by 969, and target would be the weekly 200 MA, which is right here. Not a ton of room, but a little bit. And that's my list. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Again, if you'd like to know more about what I do and would like to potentially join me in the program, check the links in the description. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care, everybody.